We offered massages on our planes and BA don't, so we had a big poster campaign in London which basically said BA don't give. We finally got permission to fly out of Heathrow, which BA had been trying to stop us for years. We arrived in pirate outfit and we requisitioned Concorde and draped the voted flag over its tail. And again, things we could get away with then, which may be a bit more difficult in this day and age after 9/11. So now maybe we'd be slightly less in your face, because we might get shot, I think, today. So,
well, it might be challenging driving a tank in New York at this point.
I think that would be unwise. Yeah.
Will that be in Dirty Tricks, by the way, the Cola Wars thing too? Will it be multiple things?
No, I think it's just focused on the British Air Force. That's
maybe this is the sequel. So you've had all these challenges and people playing really not fair, truly unfair competition. How do you keep your drive, your focus, and your enthusiasm and optimism up through that? Because even when you're optimistic, you get slapped in the face that hard by such big companies. It's got to get you down a little bit.
I think that, well, if you get a knock in the press, which we have had on occasions, the important thing to do is just generally ignore it and then just prove those knockers wrong. And that's the way we deal with these things. And it's just no point in getting too down about. My approach to life is, work really, really hard to try to avoid a calamity. Work day and night to avoid it. But the moment you know that you can't avoid it, then get a good night's sleep, wake up the next morning and put it behind you and move forward. And I think that's good advice. I mean, you just can't dwell on things that have gone wrong too long. So if somebody says, ask me, what's the worst thing that's happened in your life? I can't, I just can't even immediately, they don't spring to mind.
You're not thinking about
their past history. No, I just want to look forward in a positive way, look at, worry about today and worry about tomorrow and not the past.
So you say, one of the things that one of my favorite quotes you have is that you don't learn to walk by following rules. And how has that impacted the way that you've approached things, and what takeaways have you got from thinking that way?
Well, babies learn to walk by falling flat on their face, picking themselves up again, falling flat on their face, picking themselves up again. I mean, I love, I've always loved breaking the rules since I was a young kid. There was a play that went out on Radio 4 called Never Mind the Bollocks on New Year's Day of this year, about a famous court case we had for using the word bollocks as Never Mind the Bollocks, yes, the Sex Pistols, many years ago when we launched the Sex Pistols album. And the police decided that the word bollocks was rude, and they took us to court. And a famous playwright called Reginald Wardling asked me to try to ring up a linguistics expert in Nottingham and find out what the real word for bollocks meant. And so I rang this university, was put through to this department of a professor of linguistics, and I said, we've been prosecuted for the word bollocks. I think that, could you tell me what it means? And the guy said, what a load of rubbish. The police obviously don't know the true meaning of the word bollocks. So bollocks was a nickname given to priests in the 18th century. So the actual album means either never mind the priests, yes, the Sex Pistols, or since priests, he said, talk a load of rubbish sometimes, it's never mind the rubbish, yes, the Sex Pistols. It's nothing to do, it's not a derivative of balls at all. So I said, well, that's good to hear. Would you mind coming to court to be our main witness? And he said, Richard, I'd be delighted to. Just one thing, I'm not only the professor of linguistics, I'm also a priest. Would you like me to wear my dog collar when I come to court? Anyway, at the end of the court, our QC, our Queen's Counsel, said to him, would you mind rolling down your sweater, sir? That was his dog collar. And we were reluctantly, by the magistrates, found not guilty.